Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of The Forgotten City. I'm Vic and you're watching yet another Let's Play channel. And conveniently, this is actually a game where when you save, you load back up where you left off. So that's nice, for me. It won't make that much of a difference for you. Except on those occasions that I would have forgotten where I was. So I guess, since we're here, we might as well have a look in the temple? Yeah. Uh-oh. Don't look too hard at that. Oh, here we go.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. Yulia. She was a good woman.
What happened?
She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule. Or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath.
Is there something I can do to help?
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
I think that was quite rude what she just said. I'll see what I can do. What's your story?
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is Nevia's clinic. I've just been filling in ever since she disappeared. I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time. But I'd rather take this on myself than let one of you lot mess it up.
How did you end up here?
My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced the Roman way more than I would have liked, and turned into an awful philanderer. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. And then the fires came. As he prepared to evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment his back was turned, I ran. I could barely see for the smoke, and the streets were full of people trampling each other. I ran for the river, like everyone else, and leapt in. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a riverbank, not far from here.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right. Say what you will about this place. At least my fornicating husband will never find me. And while there's no shortage of snakes here, at least with the golden rule, they have to try to be discreet about it.
One would think that if you had a rule that was being enforced by the gods, it wouldn't matter how discreet you were. Does somebody have to tattle on you to the gods? Why are you working out of a shrine?
Oh, this shrine was in use as a clinic long before any of us arrived here. Kind of strange to set up a clinic in the temple of the god of disease. But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So I suppose praying to Apollo for healing kind of makes sense.
Tell me more about Nevia?
Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good, too. Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything, she kept saying. But I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem, a real thorn in the paw situation. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed and he's in constant pain.
Who?
I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it. And he's a little bit scary. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off, and I worry he'll end up losing his temper and lashing out, and you know what that means. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to get into the palace.
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, I suppose.
Do you know a way out of here?
I wish. Some people here need proper medical care, not the half-baked, hanging by a thread excuse for treatment I'm giving them. Just don't get sick or injured here. I'll do my best to treat you, but I'm out of my depth and dangerously short on everything you can imagine.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
A city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up didn't think it through. Maybe it was an attempt to create some kind of utopia. But snakes like Decius will always find loopholes to exploit. And what can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because we can't take the law into our own hands.
I keep hearing the statues whispering. Is that normal?
Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to worry you, but no, that is definitely not normal. There was one other person who claimed she could hear the statues talking to her. But that was Nevia, and she went a little mad.
Forget I said anything.
Anything about what?
Good girl. Can we talk about Yulia?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Do you think she was poisoned or was it self-inflicted?
Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule, and so maybe it's best we don't discuss it.
Do you know what poisoned her?
Hemlock, I believe.
Is there any reason why she might have wanted to die?
I haven't seen her in months. She's not allowed to leave Malleolus' villa, and they are quite secretive.
Interesting. Let's talk about something else.
Gladly.
I'll be going now.
Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Alrighty. Well, goodbye. What is it? It's very shiny, isn't it? I'm having a few flashbacks to the old Skyrim mod, so I don't know what that's going to mean for the gameplay. But I'm going to try not to spoil anything that I'm not supposed to know yet. I guess we got a bunch more people to talk to. Who is he? And who is that?
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
How? I don't have a weapon.
None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise.
Oh, good. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
Maybe we shouldn't meet in there?
What? We don't have time for this. I have to go.
Alright.
Ugh.
Why am I looking this way now?
The shrine is collapsing.
Well, now I know why I said that. Might as well. She doesn't need it anymore. And who knows when you might need some monkey bread, right?
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead! Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her! Oh Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl! I can't believe she is dead. Fabia, I mean. She walked into that empty shrine, and the next moment she is lying dead under a pile of rubble. The gods are cruel and unjust. She was like a daughter to me. I'm sorry, friend. It's not right for me to lay my burden upon you.
So does that mean we're still at 23? With Fabia dead? Yeah, okay. With Fabia dead and a stranger armed someplace? This isn't the way in, is it? Am I about to get arrowed? Yes, I am.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
I don't know a Quinctius.
I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood?
I got it.
Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place?
We're just a small community of strangers who wound up here by accident.
A small community. Ha! I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult.
Wait, what's a mystery cult?
Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered.
We're not cultists, though.
You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret?
We're not keeping it a secret. We're all trapped in here.
So you admit you're not allowed to leave.
It's not that we're not allowed. We physically can't leave. There's no way out.
Threatening me is not going to help you. But in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe?
It's not a mantra, it's a warning.
A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues?
They were once people who were turned into gold as punishment.
You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me.
We didn't turn them into gold. No, you're distorting what I said.
Yes, because I'm the real villain here. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination,
I'm about to get arrowed.
the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists, there's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become.
Said the
However,
assassin.
you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quintius is. Do not waste it.
Here we go. It's arrow time. What can you tell me about Quintius?
Very well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process.
Perhaps the Emperor was looking for a scapegoat.
Who are you to challenge what the Emperor says? Were you there? Do you have spies and scouts all over Rome like he does? No, you do not. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not?
I have no idea who or where he is. Arrow time.
You're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
Do you?
As a matter of fact, I do. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd
He's still
enjoy
playing
more.
Skyrim, I think.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, so I did get arrowed, but also I am not dead.
I don't want to go to Tartarus.
Sorry, everybody. Why am I sorry? It's not my fault. Don't mind me. I'm just passing through. I should be going the right way. Oh. Oh, it's looking at me. Well. I suppose the one thing that I neglected to not spoil. Can I make that? Yes, I can. No, don't. No, that's... Don't do that. Is the time loop part, but here we go. This is time loop time. And really, I think anybody that's aware of this game is aware of the time loop angle, right? Back through the wormhole. Returning to Stargate Command. Oh, and I'm still injured. And I got an achievement called Looper.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost?
Well, I haven't lost because I am alive. I'm Vic, and we've had this conversation before.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Your name is Galerius, and you're about to offer to take me to Sentius so you can tell me about the Golden Rule.
Oh, I guess how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you.
No problem.
Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
Don't mind if I do.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably.
Thanks.
All right. See you around.
Yeah, why not? Cool. So what I want to do is go see if I can talk nice to that one lady in town. Is she this way? You statues got anything new to say to me? You gonna chastise me? The priestess. What about the priestess? No, this isn't where she was. Have I talked to you? Maybe. Or maybe he just doesn't want to talk to me.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacis, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Well.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil.
What's your story?
Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people, that kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
Tell me about the temple up on the
You mean
bluff.
the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
It's probably dedicated to Oz, the Great and Powerful. Tell me about the city's history.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. It could mean that the Romans, who first started building here, were just copying Greek architecture, which they do all the time. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
Tell me about the city's architecture.
Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the Great Temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake. and allows us to fish and farm.
If they bring water into the city, could we use them to escape?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Do you know of a way out of here?
You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the golden rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Noviomagus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Some people say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me. Like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
I think so.
Good. Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option.
How do you remove a god from power?
Good question. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought.
I noticed the graffiti. Why does someone think you're a sinner?
Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company.
I see.
And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong.
Do you know who's writing the graffiti?
It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Is Quinctius among them? Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
So, Quinctius is leading a Christ cult in the area, is what it sounds like. Let me look into it for you.
What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
I'll see what I can do. Who are you going to vote for?
Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision.
Anything I can do to change that?
My vote isn't for sale, if that's what you're asking.
I'll be going now.
Nice to talk to you.
Didn't learn anything about a bow, which is what I was expecting to get out of that conversation. Anyway, we are all out of time for episode 4, so come back and see me again in episode 5, and I'm going to go talk to that fella over there. And hopefully I'll put off the time looping again for a while. Talk to you soon.